What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode 2 of Live Wires, where we're getting to connect with amazing people, athletes, coaches, and just to see who can inspire anyone out there. Today, we have an amazing guest. She's one of my favorites in my instancy classes. Sorry, Ronan. But it's none other than Jessica Schultz, better known as Jess. She's in the up and coming of winning ITF tournaments left, right, and center. She just came back from Namibia where she dominated the performance and she's still growing. And I'm just so happy. It's been, I think, 1 year that we started to work with each other, and the growth has been, oh my word, just amazing. So without further ado, welcome, Jess. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. So tell us about yourself. Where you from? What do you do? What grade you in?
I was born in Joburg in South Africa,
Okay.
and I moved here when I was about 1 to Cape Town.
Yeah.
I am currently in grade 12 in matric at Herschel Girls'
Okay.
School here in Cape Town.
And how's that been going since, matric's one of the most high stress environments you can ever be in. How are you finding like a balance towards the sport and still studying and homework and all of those things?
I think it's really important to make sure you always find the balance between the sports,
Yeah.
the academics, and the social life.
Okay.
They all work together to create a happy environment, and for me tennis is really important, and I still value my academics, but
Yeah.
finding that balance with the social life, the academics, and the tennis
Okay.
helps to create a happy environment for me to play my best tennis.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I think I remember a time when I was in grade 11, or actually first in grade 9. That was the first time I started competing internationally, and my dad always went with me like to all my trips, and he made sure like I had to study on the plane, study, go to bed. But it was such a, I don't know, it's a different shift when you have to start now thinking about your academic balance and the
Yeah.
sporting balance, and I don't know. Luckily, I passed. I don't know, but that was just a stressful time. And obviously, as you get through the higher grades, like the pressure becomes more demanding
Yeah.
because you go into a more specialized field of what you want to study
Yeah.
exactly. What are you studying now? Your 7 modules?
So I take maths, pure maths,
Okay.
English home language,
Yeah.
Afrikaans first additional, life orientation, and then I take life sciences, physical sciences, and accounting.
Okay, flip. And what's your goal like once you're done with this?
After school, I want to go to the US and play Division
Yeah,
One
okay. The hub
tennis,
of tennis.
college tennis, yeah. And then obviously at the same time, I want to study and I want to get a degree.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what I want to study yet,
Okay.
but definitely something in the genetics field.
I think we had a discussion about this like a while ago, like forensics.
Either forensics or something with genetics and looking at genomic medicine.
That's your. I can't even comprehend the science behind that.
Yeah, I just find it so interesting.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah. So for those that are just wondering what our topic for today is, because we always need a theme. So the theme today is all about balancing your sporting life and your academic life. Majority of players that I work with and those that's out there studying that I don't work with yet, they all have this notion of maybe I need to focus 90% on my academics because it's going to get me through, but then they put little effort into the sporting life because I don't know, maybe there's not an equilibrium in terms of how they're going to balance both of it. And it's very important, like at a young age, to start learning about those development skills and how you can incorporate into your life as well. Because I mean, as you get older, you have a family, you have kids, you have to balance around so much things. But for yourself, firstly, when did you start playing tennis?
I started playing tennis when I was about 5 or 6.
Okay.
I think the intention was never for me to become a competitive player.
Yeah.
It was more just to be able to play tennis, to join wherever you go in the world, just to be able to join a tennis club and
Yeah.
meet new people and play socially. And I don't think there was ever the intention or even the thought for me to end
Take
up
it further.
playing competitively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me ask, who was like your first coach that took you through like the basics of like, okay, this is what we're gonna do?
So my first coach, his name was Chris,
Okay.
and we worked together for, I would say, a good maybe 8-10 years.
Yeah.
And I think he played a very big role in my tennis in developing it. And something that I always remember is he always made it fun. Like on a Friday, we would do serving with targets, and if I hit the target, I'd get like a Steri stamp.
What?
So he always made it fun and enjoyable. And I think you have to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't be doing it. And whatever you do, sport, academics, studying, life, you need to enjoy it. And
100%.
I'll always be grateful that he made it fun for me.
That's so cool. I work with this hockey team at my university, and one of the things that I've learned like over the past 3 years is that there always needs to be like a small incentive in terms of getting the team involved. So now I make sure that after every tough block, I get either like coffee or Steri stamp for them, just so that they look forward to the end of the block of the hard work and like, okay, no, this was worth it. And it creates a good culture, because now they know, okay, we work hard, we get the reward, and we can move on. That's so crazy. Okay. Coming back to this past, let's say, if we look at from the year, I've been working now for 1 year, and the growth has been phenomenal. I mean, at first you had so much things that was errors involved with your biomechanicals, and the minute we addressed it, we started to see some small changes, and you were heading into the junior masters, if I'm not mistaken, or was it nationals first?
The junior masters.
Yeah. And from there, like the consistency of making sure you on a trajectory towards where you want to be has been exceptional. For those that don't know, also Jess has been she played 4 ITFs thus far in the last year, or 3.
Yeah, I've played 4 in the last 6 months.
Yeah, and she's taken 2 titles of those last 4, which is phenomenal. Because I mean, I can only speak with that. I'm working with her for 1 year, and in this year, she's just been dominating on every level. Hopefully, we get to the Grand Slams and the Wimbledon soon. But it's been so amazing to see like your growth, especially in the terms of SNC, and how this impacted like your whole journey. How do you feel about it, like this new development?
I think it's really helped. I think before I wasn't as aware of the impact that SNC has on your on-court performance, and the biomechanics all work together. I think it's also what has really helped is my consistency. I've been coming every week, 3 or 4 times a week, and building that consistency and strength really translates into your on-court performance. And even just knowing, it becomes a mental thing, knowing if you go into a third set that your body is able to do it. Your body will be able to let you perform at the best level you can. It takes away that stress of, oh, I'm feeling tired, or I'm not sure how I'm going to get through this. It acts as a kind of like a reassurance. And I also think just general fitness and on-court conditioning helps in general improve your sport and the level you play at.
100%. It matters so much in terms of like your mentality, how you approach things, knowing exactly, okay, this is my routine, and I know if I do this correctly, it eliminates so much other negative factors that can come on board. And it's always amazing to see like those type of ripple effects that it have on many athletes. But would you say that there's been like any challenges that you faced within this past year, balancing the technical side and the SNC side, or how they complemented each other like so well?
I think I can definitely see in the blocks we do it translating onto my on-court performance. For example, if we do maybe a bit more explosivity, is that a word?
Yeah, it's a word that I understand.
On the court, my movement is faster, my reactions are better. So I think it definitely translates directly into the tennis and impacts it in a positive way. Helps improve your performance. And 100%. Just for general strength, to be able to train at a higher level, and the higher level you're able to train at, the better you'll get, and the better you'll be able to compete.
100%. And something that I always noticed that when I was younger, I used to watch tennis channel, I don't know what's it called, ESPN, I don't know. And the SNC was so much involved with the play when they warm up, when they train, everything. And to bring this type of environment to a Senate, let's say, It's so important for like the bind to be also like so good, because people always often think that no, they're going to focus on the technical side up until they reach pro and then they're going to get involved with SC. But they've delayed so much progress where they could have been, but now they just stay here and then only pro level now they start building. And it takes a long time to build once you hit that age, because number one, you've grown, you're more mature, there's more muscle mass now on the body, and you have to achieve so many things. And then again, you have to balance work life, the study life, the tennis life, and it's almost like you have to start over again and build a system. But, I mean, fair enough. Different strokes for different folks. It works for many people. Sometimes it don't. So, since you've been competing now through 4 ITFs, how has this like changed your whole mental approach in terms of how you, how can I say, approach things in training, approach things in your daily life? Has it been some sort of mental shift as well?
Something that I've always sort of lived by is, if you do something, you need to give it your all. You can't go and do half measures. If you're going to come to training and you're going to give it 60% and not 100%, you may as well not come to training. So I think it's important knowing when I do go into a match or an ITF or a tournament, even with academics, if I prepare for a test or have an exam, knowing that I've put in the hard work and that I've built up to that moment, I've done everything in my ability to prepare for that moment, and it's sort of just trusting the process. I think it's a very cliched and very overused, but I think it's part of the process. The process isn't always easy. You're going to have ups and downs, and sometimes the downs are tough to take, but you've got to look at those lows and see what you can learn to improve so that it doesn't happen again. And I really don't enjoy the losses. I mean, I don't think anyone does. But it kind of motivates me to say, why did I lose? What contributed to that? And what can I do to make sure it doesn't happen again? And maybe it does happen again, but you have to look at the improvements. Did you take what happened the time before? Did you look at it, see what I could do to do better? And did I do better the next time?
I think it's very important to have that type of self-evaluation to make sure that you're achieving the small goals before you get to like the main things, like, oh, I lost this one. But it's still like, okay, but what things did you do good leading up to this moment? You know, did you say, okay, I want to make sure that all my forehands are going good, my overhead serves are going well, like everything. Like, you got to make sure that you're doing the small checks every single time. And it's so important. Also, I like the fact that you said like it creates this environment where you trust the process, and you know, no matter how tough it is, you just gotta keep at it. And this was a recap from our last podcast, which is the discipline of being alone and having that ability to just be disciplined,
driven
every single day, no matter how tough it is. Just show up, do your best, and trust the process. Know that the easy end goal is not gonna remain like this forever. You know.
Yeah, you have to be driven. You have to want it yourself. If you don't want it, you aren't going to enjoy it. And you'll look at the loss and say, okay, I lost. Maybe I had a bad day, and you'll just move on and forget it.
100%.
And I can't do that. I can't.
Oh, it's so tough. I know sometimes I see you frustrated on the court, and I'm like, it's only training. Like, why do you say, it's not a good day? Like, this is an hour that you're measuring the whole day about. I'm like, okay. Maybe you are learning also through this process. In terms of like your mental support and wellness, like what type of value has like certain coaches played an important role in that aspect?
I think it's really important. I think mentality, especially in an individual sport like tennis, it is tough. It is a difficult sport. And I know, especially at school, my friends get upset with me when we have arguments about which sport is the toughest. And they all play team sports. And I always say to them, when it gets tough, there isn't a coach to talk to you. There isn't a coach to, at halftime, to come with the whiteboard and draw the players and your game strategy. And there isn't anyone to sub when you get tired. There isn't anyone to pass the ball to if you're feeling under pressure. It's yourself. There's no coach. And I think the mentality is not something that just naturally comes. I think it's something that develops over time with experience. And I think yes, you can develop it from, I don't know, listening to podcasts, reading books, biographies from other players. But I think it's something that comes from playing matches and being put in the situations yourself and seeing how you deal with them. So I think definitely all my coaches over the years have played a role in developing my mentality. But it also comes from who I am as a person. I'm very driven. I'm very motivated. I'm very determined. I'm also a fighter. So I'm not going to give up. I'm not just going to say, oh, I lost the set. Well, I may as well tank the second. It's not happening. So yeah, I think it's really important. Just, it also, I think your morals and values and your outlook on life plays a role into it, and what you want to achieve as well.
100%, yeah. What are like some small things that you do just to make sure that your well-being is being like checked out and you're on track in terms of balancing your emotions, in terms of like the high stress environment and the low relaxing ones, and trying to just find that optimal level of equilibrium, if I can say?
I think it's something I've developed quite a lot over the last while. I do get quite emotional on the court. I think that comes from me caring so much about the sport. But I think it's really important for me while I'm playing to recognize my emotions. So if I don't know, serve a double fault, I think it's important for me to acknowledge, okay, yes, I served a double fault, but the next point I'm going to try and do this to make sure I don't serve it. I think another thing is a positive mindset. So instead of saying, Jess, don't serve a double, I say to myself, Jess, you're going to hit a really good T serve now. I think that positive mindset, and also constantly talking to myself with positive affirmations. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Like, okay, Jess, this one point at a time. Come on, let's go. I think just keeping my mind focused on what I'm doing right now on court, and not looking at who's watching or thinking about what I want for dinner, or because I used to struggle with that a lot, staying focused on the court, on the match. So I think it's really important just for myself. I mean, sometimes I think people might think I'm a bit odd, but just talking to myself the whole time, but just staying focused, correct, the positive attitude, and just keep on fighting and trying, even when it's not going how I want it to.
You know what's interesting is that I spoke with a lot of kids like that are in grade 11, 10, 9, and the common thing is that they struggle to build this type of confidence in themselves, to have that self-evaluation and all positive affirmations about themselves, because they are so young. They still have this big emotion in terms of they must win, and my parents said I must do this, and they place a lot of emotion in their sport instead of looking at from like an holistic approach in terms of, okay, what small thing can I do to achieve this, to make sure that I'm building healthier habits in terms of my growth and performance in the sport. Because a lot of people say, no, I lost this, and they carry that negative energy throughout the entire game, and it's like, this is degrading you. Like, you're not focusing anymore on all the positive things that you can control. So
that's another thing, cool, focusing on what you can control.
100. The uncontrollables and the controllables, you have to differentiate between those two. But it's so cool to see that you've built this type of maturity in the sport at this age already. I mean, like I said, if you delay this type of growth, it only slows things down in terms of where you can be in the future. But that is so cool. Yeah. How do your peers at school like associate? How do your peers sort of like handle you, like in terms of you're doing so well and you have your routines and you have to do this and your diets, and how do they go about that?
I'm quite a private person when it comes to that. I don't really enjoy the spotlight. So I never tell my school my results or how I did. I don't like the spotlight.
But it's such a so much achievements.
I don't enjoy the spotlight. I don't like people knowing. I mean, if someone asks, I'm not going to lie. I'll be honest. But I don't think, I love my friends, I really do, but I don't think they have a understanding of the training and the diet and everything that goes into it. Because a lot of people play a sport and they go to they mostly play team sport, and they go to a practice like 2 or 3 times a week. Not all of my friends, but a large amount. And it's just a practice and then maybe one match a week. So I don't think they have an understanding of training every day, the diet, the S&C, the mental side, the competing, and just finding a balance with everything.
That is, it's so crazy. And I mean, there's many players and athletes out there that is also in this same boat, that trying to navigate behind certain things. And one of the things that can't be, like, let's say, overlooked is peer pressure, because a lot of people don't do certain things because it doesn't feel right doing in front of like my friends, or but like if you know that at this time in the day you need to be like stretching, or you need to be having your dietary nutrition things, and you'll be like, no, but I'm in front of my friends and I don't want to do that. I'm not sure if I asked, but do you have any major competitions that are coming up now, or things that you are looking forward to still this year?
So obviously with matric, it's really difficult to travel. I can't be missing so much school and tests and stuff like that, especially with prelims and finals. I mean, there's no way I can miss those. But I'm looking at traveling in the June-July holidays. I haven't decided where yet, but I do have a couple options that I'm thinking about traveling to.
Yeah, for tournament development?
Yeah, for tournaments.
For tournaments,
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting in the hard work again, finding the balance. Do I enjoy the holiday, or do I think, okay, maybe I can put some time in now?
I can have a holiday at the end of matric. I need to play some tournaments. Especially, I feel I get such FOMO because everyone who isn't a matric has been traveling this year to all the ITFs in South Africa, in Durban, Bloem, and Potch. And I haven't been able to go, and I've had such FOMO. Sure.
If you look at where you are right now, where do you kind of see your trajectory going, like, let's say, in the next 12 months?
I think one of my main goals is, obviously, my main goal always is to play the best tennis I can and improve as much as I can. But I think prelims and finals are a very stressful time, probably the most hectic time during my school career. So I think during that time, it's going to be very important for me to try and maintain my tennis, my strength and conditioning, and still study. But then, like I said earlier, find that harmony, that balance between also a bit of a social life. And still, I think I just don't want to go backwards in terms of the tennis. That's my biggest fear. Because I know players that have struggled a lot during finals and prelims. And I just want to be able to maintain the tennis to hopefully be able to compete in the tournaments instead of much at the end of the year.
But it's so interesting what you said now, that you're taking this June, July break where you could just relax and, I mean, even focus more on just like enjoying yourself, because it was a stressful environment now up until this break, but rather to build up your development in the tournaments, and then sort of have a break from it in, let's say, August, September, you have your prelims, and then by the time you come into December, when it's done, you've still accumulated enough growth over the time when you were, let's say, rested. And it's just gonna further enhance like so many things, you know, because you find the balance, like, okay, I can't just have stress and then enjoy and then come back and start again, and then we're doing this up and down, but rather, okay, I find the gap, okay, I improve slowly, I do this, and it just finding that harmony, as you said, it's so important. I wish many more people could do those things. Don't just go on holiday, guys. Then final question: any words of like wisdom or motivation for athletes younger than you or older than you? I mean, motivation applies to so many people, but just in terms of finding the balance and just to keep pushing and inspire them.
I think the most important thing, I said it earlier, but I think the most important thing is always to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to grow. You're not going to want to get better. And I mean, I am very competitive, so I always want to excel in whatever I do. So I always want to get better and grow. But I think you really do need to enjoy it. You should be doing it for yourself, not because your parents say you should, or you feel like you have to because your parents played the sport maybe when they were a child. And I think it is cliched, but trust the process. And I think a positive mindset towards trusting the process. The process isn't always easy, so you're going to have your ups and downs, but learning to evaluate where you are, set yourself goals, evaluate where you are, take the ups and downs as they come and just grow with it.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And yeah, just you have to want it. You have to want it. You have to be driven.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to want it enough to do whatever you can to be able to grow.
You got to be able to want to do the uncomfortable things.
Yeah. And I think something that's very important for me to always keep in my mind, specifically because I'm a perfectionist.
Okay.
But perfection doesn't come in these massive time periods.
Yeah.
You need to try and keep that perfection for as long as possible. So if you're training and you're doing, I don't know, forehands, you might hit 5 or 6 really good forehands. You're not going to be able to hit perfect forehands the entire training.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to try and have those little patches of perfection whenever you can, and make them as long as you can, but also understand it's part of the process in growing and getting better and developing.
Yeah, because it's almost like you get excited for those moments. Like, oh,
exactly.
I want to latch
work
this
towards
moments.
those moments.
Yeah, that is so cool, man. And then 3 years from now, where do you hope to be?
That will put me in second year of college, or hopefully college.
Yeah.
So I hope to be in America playing D1 tennis, and obviously still studying at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm just that's what I want to do, and I think I always want to be able to play tennis at the best possible level I can. So that is my dream, and that's what I really hope to achieve.
100%, yeah. I hope to see some shout-outs on the Grand Slam tournaments. But yeah, guys, again, Jess, thank you so much for availing your time. It's been amazing. I think many people can learn from this conversation, and this is one of the benefits that I hope to inspire from this platform, is that it's not just about the athletes and they do well, and it's how we can sort of motivate and inspire.
Elements and put
correct.
Them together.
And it applies to so many players, coaches, non-players and coaches, just people that want to do better and that are struggling, just to sort of give them also that sort of hope, if I can say that. It doesn't just apply to this, and you don't have to be in this type of mindset, but you can take away certain elements and just try and improve your physical life, if I can say, as a whole. But then again, guys, it's been an amazing episode of Live Wires. Thank you so much, Jess.
Thank you for having me, Jody.
I wish you all the best on your journey.
Thank you.
Don't forget about us.
No, I won't.
In the Wimbledon tournaments. Yeah, we'll be looking. But yeah, other than that, thanks so much, guys. See you on the next episode.